Okay, so I guess we are live on Twitch and on YouTube. I still haven't read the full guidelines if this is allowed, like streaming on both Twitch and YouTube at the same time. But I'm not partnered yet with any of those, so I guess I'm just going to do my thing and we'll see where this goes. Okay, so let me close those stuff. Hello everyone, welcome to a new Monday live stream. Today, like I said in my previous live stream, we are going to do some collective energy reading, oracle reading, using oracle cards and tarot cards and all of that kind of stuff. And as well, I'm going to give free light language codes. I'm going to give free light language codes for people. So how this is actually going to work? After I'm gonna talk about the things that I want to talk today, and we are going to do a reading, like I said, about the collective energy and everything that we are going through right now as a collective. We are going to I'm going to give free light language codes. How is this going to work? So basically, I'm going to give free light language codes to people that is chatting with me. So for an example, if you came across this live stream and you want a free light language code, the only form of light language codes that I do, they will be on paper. So I'm not speaking directly light language, especially I'm not speaking like light language codes here with this voice and with this body. For me, light language came as a natural form because I started doing like light language codes when I was around 15 years old or something like that, and it was something natural for me to do. I've always liked to draw, to paint, and I was enjoying all kinds of artistic ways. And then someday, I don't know, something happened. And I started doing light language. I started writing light language codes. And then at that time I had this friend. I had that friend that I'm no longer in contact with. And he was something like, because he was also into spirituality and into all of that kinds of stuff, into light language codes and all of those conceptions of like twin flames, soulmates, I don't know, all of those kinds of subjects in the new age field or into the spirituality field with energy crystals and all of that kind of stuff. And he was the one that actually introduced me to this thing, into spirituality, not actually, I was already into spirituality, like I had some notions about some things, but he was the one that actually introduced me into all kinds of subjects. So I was actually doing light language codes. I was doing like energy reading, I was doing remote viewing, I was doing all kinds of things. But like I said in my previous videos on my YouTube channel, um, remote viewing isn't a form of like actually of spirituality, you know. For me, I don't see it to be like that, to be like a form of spirituality. And because of that, for me, remote viewing is more like a physical thing that every person on this earth is able to do it. But it's more like a muscle that needs to be trained. For me, light language and remote viewing came both at the same time, and not exactly both at the same time, but I was aware of them more likely I was aware of them at the same time. I was doing remote viewing since I was a child. I kept seeing myself from a distance, from 2 meters away, even though I was like blinking. I was like this, you know. I was like just like any other normal person, seeing through my own eyes, but at the same time I was seeing like from outside of my body. And because I was seeing from the outside of my body, I was seeing from the outside of my body, for me this thing was always something like it was something natural to do. I don't know. And it was something natural for me to do as a child. I don't know. I thought that every person is actually able to do this. Uh, but it seemed that not everyone is able to do this. And I was in a very much shock when I find out that not everyone can actually do remote viewing. But the thing is that that person that I was in contact with, that friend that I am no longer contact with, sorry. The thing is that um, that person told me that those are named like that, like, you know, that is like language, and you know that is what you are doing is remote viewing. And I wasn't aware of those terms, those tags that people would use on those things, like that is called like language or that is called remote viewing. I wasn't aware that people was calling those things like that. For me, those things they didn't had like an actually name. I was doing them more like something natural to me, like you do a thing that, like you are doing a thing that you aren't aware that you are doing it until you realize that you are doing that thing, and then you become aware of it, you know. And so after that friend introduced me into those terms with those things that they are called like that, then I understood what those actually meant. It came to me really surprising the fact that there were people that, like I said, couldn't do this. And it came to me very surprisingly when I found out that there were people that were willing to pay others to teach them that. I will never teach directly anybody how to do remote viewing, because I believe that thing is a stupid thing to do, to teach someone how to do something natural. It's like walking, and you need to try and learn that person how to walk. No, that person should be able to learn how to walk by itself. Yes, you can guide it a little bit, like I did in my book, like some advices here and there, but otherwise than that, I believe that people that want and or need to learn how to do remote viewing, I believe that thing is achievable by anyone, and I believe that that thing is achievable by anyone with some training and patience. And I believe the people shouldn't fall into this trap and actually pay for online courses, online stuff, to actually learn from someone how to walk, if you know what I'm trying to say by that. And so I believe that people should try and do this by themselves. Especially I believe that, and from my own personal experiences and from what my guides told me, is that it's like it becomes really messy with the belief system, with the subconscious mind, and with the rational mind, the logical mind, and every part of ourselves. When we expose ourselves to the outside information, reading books and watching YouTube courses or paying for a course to learn something, like remote viewing or how to do something like that. And from what I heard and from what they told me is that we have like outside influences, and because we have like outside influences of information, and we have, I don't know, we have all kinds of things from outside. Like we are bombarded with all kinds of information from the outside, and because we are bombarded with the information from all kinds of like corners from this world, we are very sensitive, we are very sensible to it. I don't know if I said that correctly, right. Especially when we are opening to spirituality. And to be honest with you, my husband would ask me like, how do you do this, how do you do that, how do you teach me that, teach me this. And I always told him something like, because I saw him to be very open to this, and I don't want to call him like naive, because he isn't naive, but there are many people that are kind of naive, like they fall into this trap and listen to all kinds of information from all kinds of places, and not feed themselves with that information, and they keep watching and they keep feeding with that information. And some information, it's not that it isn't true or it isn't right, because there isn't wrong or right, and there isn't a right way to do things in spirituality or a wrong way, but all it depends is on each soul, and on each soul discernment, and view, and how each soul chooses. And because entities don't have like direct access to go through the what is called the free will. So because the entities don't have access to directly to the free will of humans, and to actually affect them directly, like, or to do things directly to them, or to talk directly to them, or I don't know, things like that. We have all sorts of entities that they are trying to manipulate people that are very sensitive to energy, to messages, to information. And we must know that we must use our discernment, and that information is energy. And we as souls, we are also a combination of energy and consciousness. And because the information is energy, we are mostly, our soul is purely made from energy, from information, from memory. That's why we can also access, as human beings, sometimes we can access, some of us, our past lives. But those especially those past lives, they are not happening at different times, because many people, they are like confused about all of this. And I'm sorry that I have to go through all of this, but things make sense when you actually starting to be aware of them a little bit. uh I want to talk about many things today. And like I said, time doesn't exist. There is this illusion like time could be something physical but yet untouchable, that but it's not. It is as a spirit, and because spirits, like I said, they are made from energy, from information, and we have access to all of that and realities and the matter at a very subcellular level. um, it's all just energy and information, and we travel through it faster than light. And the thing is that there is no past. There might be only present. There isn't future. Even the actions that you do as a soul, everything just happens when it happens, and it might happen sometimes simultaneously, like at the same time, or it can happen separately, like events. But at the same time, you might be aware of them, or there are bigger like events that are happening in the timeline, and they're jumping through. You know, um, people will not actually come in contact with that information. I don't know how many will actually be aware of the things that I'm trying to say. I'm trying to be and stay open and open myself with those things as much as I can. I don't know how much I can actually explain this, and I don't know how much people can actually understand the things that I'm trying to say. But the thing is that I know that I was put here with this mission to share my information, to share this energy, because, like I said, information is energy. We are made from information, from energy. Even our brain functions on energy, even our heart function on energy. Everything around us is energy, free energy. Free energy that some want to harvest freely. Even though if something can be seen with the naked eyes because it moves at a very high rates of frequency of hertz, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Some things they move slower, but some things they move faster. Even if they move slower or faster, they're in between. They can be like open in the open, like we are, because our brain and this matter and into those vehicles that we come into, those vehicles that we now like possess, if I could actually use that word, I don't know. We can't actually process with this, and that's why the intuitivity and the remote viewing, and because remote viewing and intuitivity, they are different, and that's why like we can't sometimes we can't process things directly with our mind, like we are, like some things happen when we are sleeping, because the body is preoccupied in that moment with something to do, and so that gives us enough space and momentum to actually propulse ourselves from those vehicles into out-of-body experiences, into astral projections, and all sorts of things. Today I also want to talk about two things that actually happened recently. I don't know if on the YouTube I have this option to actually. I should make an overlay for the comments when people will start commenting, if they will start commenting, or if there will be someone that will actually so yeah, maybe I will check it later. Right now let's just focus on what I want to talk about. because, like I said, I want to talk about those two important things. First of all, I want to talk about, oh my god, I have this setup like, I need to change my chair. Okay. Uh, because I need to make myself comfortable. So comfortable. So, like I said, today I want to talk about two important things. And then I'm going to move and to the oracle cards and do all of that kinds of stuff. Something happened recently. After I was feeling really tired, and to be honest, from a health point of view, with this physical body, I don't feel so well. And I didn't had like an astral. If you can believe this, I used to have astral projections every night, and I don't know what happened, but recently I can't have any more like astral projections. And I believe that is because of the stress that I've been through, and with another method that I will talk about it in time, but I don't think that today. And so I felt really sick, and I didn't know like what could I do to actually help myself. But what actually blocked me was the fact that I was blocking myself because I was afraid to open up. I went from actually opening up and talking about the things that I've been through and what I believe in and my values and all of that kind of stuff. And I went from that to actually restrictioning myself to not talk about things because I was too afraid. But I'm not afraid anymore, and I need to open that up because it was starting to make me feel like really sick physically. Every time that I wanted to actually do this, I had like a tech problem. Like every time that I wanted to record something and talk about those matters, I had a technical problem. And when energies aren't aligned with the information that you want to bring, like there will be blockages when the energy isn't aligned. And it must be created a perfect momentum for that energy and for that information to actually come through. And like I said, today I want to talk about two important matters. Two things that I've been through. Not two things that I've been through, but two things. Sorry. One of the things is what happened actually last night. I had my first astral projection after a very long time. So I had my astral projection after a long time. I think I went without astral projection for over 3 months or 4 months or 6 months. I don't even remember. But last time something magical happened. I don't believe in magic, that's another story, but let's use that word, alright? Last night something magical happened, and I actually had again an astral projection. And for me, astral projections always happened in the morning. They keep me awake, like an energy, like a wave of energy that I couldn't sleep. Whatever I did, how many like melatonin and tea I would drink to actually try and sleep, or anything that could actually aid falling asleep, I couldn't fall asleep. And I couldn't fall asleep. So they would like happen in the morning when my body was already uh, tired enough, but my mind in a way is still awake. And that happened to me again last night, and so I tried falling asleep, and I started thinking about things, but then I tried falling asleep, and I was like moving from one side to another, and I was, watching to the ceiling, and then I don't know how, but time passed, and it was like 3 in the morning or 4 in the morning, and I waked up. I waked up. It's a nice term to say it because, um, like I said, I couldn't fall asleep, and so it was around 4 in the morning, and took my phone, stayed a little bit on the phone, and I was playing those stupid games on the phone, and my husband was asking something like, "What are you doing? Why aren't you coming in bed and sleep?" and all of that kind of stuff. Is something wrong? Did something hurts you? Are you feeling well? And all kinds of questions, and he was worrying about me. And then I told him something like, "It's alright, you can go back to sleep, I got this." And then but he couldn't sleep because he felt my energy, that I was being really active, really like high energy and all of that kind of stuff. And then something happened, and I was proposed into this so from 4 in the morning it was already like 5, because at 7 a.m. My husband goes to work, and so it was like 5 in the morning that I tried again to fall asleep, and then it was 5:30, and then something happened, and I thought that I was awake, like here in this body, but I wasn't awake in this body. I was awake in another body, in another reality, but I believed that I was awake in this body. And so I had my astral projection, and so I was projecting myself, and then I was like a little bit out of body as well, because yeah, if you saw my other YouTube videos, you'll see that I believe that astral projection and out of body experiences, they are pretty different because they manifest differently. So because astral projections and out of body experiences, they manifest themselves differently. I was a little bit outside of my body, and then I was a little bit, not a little bit, but farther into the astral projection. I was back to the astral realm. Sometimes I will like jump from one thing to another. I will jump from like astral projection to out of body experience and all kinds of things like that, like jumping back and forth. But no, I was a little bit in out of body, and then there was this spiritual guide, and he was like really big, and he was looking like really tough, but he was so kind and so full of love and kindness and peace and all of that kind of stuff. And he then told me that he's going to help me, and I couldn't believe that he was going to help me, and I could feel his love and his light, and he was radiating energy, like he was like really tall, because I'm around, like I was projecting myself. Sometimes we project ourselves at different heights, at different lengths, and different we can project ourselves the way we want, in like any form we want and the way we want. But I was projecting myself at my physical height that I have here. So I'm around 1 meter and 1 meter and 59 centimeters, 1 meter and 60 centimeters, something like that. And my husband is around 1 meter and 85 centimeters tall. And so I was projecting myself into the astral realm at the height that I have here with this physical body. And there was this guide that he was like so tall, like I believe that he was around like 2 meters or something like that. And I could see him from a distance, and he was talking and smiling, and he was so happy, like so happy. And he was talking with this other girl that I couldn't see her face very well, but I could see him, my guide, and he was talking with her. And that woman, that girl, she was, because it was a woman, it was a grown up, and that woman was talking with him, with my guide, and she was writing something on a board, and she had like something like this, and she was like writing something. And I wasn't even confused or afraid. I was something like, oh man, that's so awesome. Like I get to talk with them, and they get to help me, and finally, I was like, oh my god, finally releasing. But trust me when I say it was a pain, because I had energy blockages everywhere in my chakras, almost everywhere in my chakras actually. And my root chakra was like devastated, and the light of it was so low, because then my guide came and talked with me, and he said, I'm going to guide you through all of this. I'm going to guide you through your energy blockages and through all of that kind of stuff, and I'm going to help you resolve those things. I'm going to help you heal those things. And this morning, after that experience that I'm going to go back to it, talk about it, I talked with my husband and told him this, and I was something like, because of my free will, I was like, but I didn't ask them for any help, and even so they intervened, and it was really something like critical if they had to intervene, not against my free will, but I believe that before my reincarnation before my incarnation here as a human to this body, I believe that I talked with them and I told them something like, if there were something like to be really critical, please intervene. Like, no matter what, please intervene. If there were something like energetical critical that it will affect my overall function or affect my mission there, please intervene no matter what. And because of that, I believe they intervened, because otherwise I don't know why they would intervene without access to my free will, without me giving them their good to go. But they actually intervened, and they this guy, because I was talking about him, I don't know his name, because many times we are using like our energy tags and we talk in light language codes, because like I said, I here with this physical voice I tend not to talk light language, sorry, but when I'm in the astral realm and out of body experiences, especially to defend myself and all kinds of things like that, I tend to use light language. especially to activate like energetic shields, or to give me like to fight the dark entities, because I'm like guardian there and stuff like that. And so then this guide, like I said, helped me, and he started guiding me through things, saying something like, okay, breathe in, breathe out. And he kept telling me like, breathe in, breathe out, and try and focus and imagine and see your chakras, your energetical points. And with every breath that I took through my nose and out through my mouth, I could visualize my chakras and my energetical points, and then they were again full of light. And it was exactly like they described, like really colorful, and my whole energy and my whole aura was a rainbow again. And before him helping me, it was like they were really diminished, like the energies and like the colors of my energetical points, called like chakras, the light from them and the color from them, they were like really diminished, and they were like really small and really diminished. And the red wasn't red anymore from the root chakra, and it was really small. And I couldn't believe it, like that could be me. Like I couldn't believe that I was in that such a low stage, such a low, you know. And then my guide guided me. That sounds funny when saying like that. And he told me what to do, and with each breath that I took, I could visualize and see my energetical points and how they would like revive themselves into all kinds of like colors. And it was like a rainbow, like an explosion of rainbow. And it was like exactly like the musical notes, like going from dun 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 dun, you know, like it was like from the lowest to the highest note, like, you know. And it was just amazing. Like I couldn't believe that that was me, and I was seeing like my energy like that, going from so low and to so high. And that was just amazing. And then after my guide helping me through that, I was like again like full power, you know, like it is really emotional for me, because I didn't had like any astral projection, and I used to have them like astral projections and out of body experiences and being in contact with my guides like almost daily. And when I was going through that thing really stressful, and some things happened in my life, I was like, I couldn't do that again, because it felt like everything that I was doing was against my own flow, against my own energy, against my own beliefs, against my own values, against everything that I stand for, against everything that I started my journey for. And I was finally like rebalancing myself, and to be honest, I feel a little bit better knowing that they intervened and actually helped me a little bit, or maybe a little bit more. And it was really awesome. And then after having that experience and my guide helping me and guiding me through all of that kind of stuff, I was back into the astral realm. But before that, I was traveling and I was doing remote viewing while sleeping, and that never happened to me before. It was the first time in my life that I could actually do remote viewing while sleeping. Everything that could exist here and that I could saw with my own eyes, I saw it there. And I could see all the military projects from all of the nations that happened into this reality. Not the good things that it did, but the bad things. And not only the bad things, but the things that they are working on. It is like on the spiritual realm and in higher dimensions, and when the guardians intervene, they have access to every piece of information that they are hiding. Every little thing that you are thinking, it might be hidden. It is not. The more it is hidden, it will shine greater than a diamond in the sunlight. Like brilliant. There isn't even enough words to try and describe this. The more they are trying to bury something, the more will be out there in the open. The more will be in the open and unimportant, the more it will be hidden, and the more it will not be found. So if you are trying to hide something, hide it in the plain eyesight, hide it in the open field, because that's the less that the guardians and the light angels and we, the light beings, we will be able not to see. But they are not good at hiding, especially those dark entities. They are not good at hiding things. But I'm not only talking about them. I saw some things that they were really like I saw some things that they were working on, and some nice interesting projects as well. Some things that they are worth of higher entities' attention. But I don't want to actually talk about that and say everything that I saw, because that is remained to be seen, and there are some pieces of information that some do not need to know. Yeah, and with that I'm moving forward. There were also some dark entities that they were trying to hurt me, but I took care of them. Otherwise than that, it was really awesome, and I could feel things like through my solar plexus chakra. I could feel it through my stomach, everything that I was feeling there. I was seeing like sunrises, and I was seeing like so many things, and they looked like really beautiful. And even though I will not get the chance to see like certain things in this life, and maybe I will not be able like to reach every corner of this world to travel, then I saw things there, and I'm more than pleased and more than happy to be there and to see them. And for those that they think that they can lower the energy of the other people and they can influence them and like control them in all the ways that they want, they can't stop like they can't stop everyone from seeing, from being, from existing. We are more than our physical bodies. We are more than what we are presented to be. We are more than this. And never believe their lies. This is my advice for everyone. Never believe their lies that we are only this, and when this body is gone, we will be gone too. No, we will be more than that. This is just a passage. This is just a journey that we are going through. But we will be more than that. And that's really exciting. This is just a piece of energy, especially when we incarnate here, and especially when we choose like a human form into this reality or other realities that contain like human forms. We only take a little piece of ourselves that exists. We cannot contain, because of the 3D and the energy and the frequency of the planet, we cannot take our whole energy and actually put it in this small vehicle, because it cannot contain it, because of the frequency of the DNA, because of the frequency of the planet, because of all of those kinds of things. We cannot actually place. It's like you are trying to fit like you are trying to fit a gallon, like you're trying to fit a big thing. Like you have a big bottle of water, let's say like this. Like you have a very big bottle of water, and you're trying to fit that into a very small thing, and you can't, because not only it will overflow, but you just cannot, because of the properties of that small container that you are trying to fit that water. And it will not only overflow, but it will also not be able to do that. Also, another thing that I've been made aware of is that they are trying to use some rays from the satellites to actually contain people's consciousness and to not be able to project on astral realms. They are trying to control that with their technology. And I know that many may not believe me when I'm saying that, thinking like, what reason would they have to actually do that? But they have many reasons, and one of the biggest reason is that they are trying to contain ourselves, to not explore and find out the truths, and not the truths, but what actually lies behind the lies. Because if everybody actually awakened and could actually be aware and realize everything that is, like, they couldn't use and manipulate and harvest our free energy, because they are feeding from us, baby. They are feeding. And yeah, so that's another thing that I've been made aware of. Also, a very important thing that I want to say, that I want to mention, if we don't have enough people to come in our chat on YouTube or on Twitch, I can't do light language codes, because I don't have who to actually give those light language codes. I need people to actually comment, to actually come in contact with me through this chat, through the YouTube chat, through the live YouTube chat, through the Twitch chat. I need people to actually come in contact and to talk and to actually, And I need people to actually talk and be active to actually give those light language codes, because otherwise I don't have food to give. um, yeah. So my husband said I love you, so love you too. um, he's the only one that actually uh, yeah. Anyhow, so maybe in time we'll grow, and maybe in time there will be more people to actually talk and comment and be active in the live chat. But until then, we'll have to do with what we have. Even so, I will wait a little bit for people. Maybe there will be some that want free light language codes. Until then, I'm going to use the oracle cards to see a little bit about the collective energy. And but before that, I also want to talk about I'm not a political person, but I couldn't hold myself not talking about this, because something not just weird happens. Hello Klipsky, I mean Clipsy. Hello Clipsy, my husband. That's my husband. I love you too. So what I was talking about, I'm not into politics, and I'm not a political person. I've never been like into those kinds of stuff, because I can actually see beyond, and how many lies they used to actually manipulate us as society and as humans, and they follow us, like they try and they think they're bigger than us, and that's just what they are presenting. But there is more than that. There is just a game that is happening. It is just a game that is happening back in the stage. Things that people aren't aware of. I wanted to talk a little bit about this as well, because I am Romanian, as many of you may know or may not know about me. I live in Romania since, I was born here, I was raised here, I live here. And it's not that it affected me what happened recently, because like I said, I don't care. I don't believe into politics. And if you ask me, then how should the country be ruled if there wasn't politics to exist? Well, I'm going to tell you there are many ways to do that. I believe in free justice. I believe that people, when they will evolve enough, like with their mind, with their frequency, with their DNA, I believe that people, when they will evolve enough, and not only from an energetical point of view, but also technologically, I believe they will not need a form of politics to actually be guided on what to do, how to behave, how to be. The world is going through chaos, and this chaos will not end right here, right now. This chaos will keep going, and it will keep going until a certain point where there will be a massive nuclear war on this planet, sadly. And that thing is on the timeline. It's not like I'm thinking like like negative and all of that kind of stuff, but I'm trying to think like really positive about the outcome and the future and all of that kind of stuff. But I believe that when people are going to not only be like technologically advanced enough, but also with their minds and their energy and the frequency of the planet will rise. And when they will realize that there is a crisis in the human population, because it will decrease a lot, lots of things, natural disaster will happen because of them, and also because the planet wants to change. The poles will inverse themselves. What is South Pole will become like North Pole, and all of those kinds of things. It is not like it is only their fault on this. It is also their fault because they accelerated this process. But at the same time, this was meant to be, and at the same time, the planet needs to do this because this planet will always reset itself at a certain point. So we are going, and until we hit a certain point, and then it resets itself again. And it's just when people will advance enough, like I said, not only in energy and frequency and DNA and mentally and technologically, when they will meet those things, they will actually be able to lead themselves without an actually outside leader. People should actually step off, not to not be any rules or laws or anything like that, because there are hierarchies and there are laws in all kinds of corners of the universe. What I'm talking about is that in the future there will be a big federation, a federation between when the aliens present themselves, and there will be a federation between the people and other species, and the countries, they will not be divided anymore because the poles will inverse themselves so much that it will actually create a discrepancy, how to say it, things will evolve so much that will not be like anymore continents and countries. Everything will just dissolve. Everything will just dissolve and become one big thing, and there will be one single leader that will try and guide the others. But they will all have in common a kind of similar goal, helping the human race, because like I said, the human race will be on extinction, and certain races that are now on the earth, they will be almost extinct. They will be on extinction. I had this vision about one of the possibilities of the future, because we cannot see the future exactly, it always changes, but only probable possibilities of the future, of realities, of outcomes. It changes based on smaller events, but it is not defined only by that. There are certain bigger events that if they are set and put in the timeline, they will happen no matter what. They will happen no matter what. And so because of that, people will lead themselves, but they must go through some things until then. even so, like I said, politics right now, sorry for my language, but is no, I'm not going to say that word. It is what it is. You know what word I'm trying to say, but I don't want to say that word. So, politics is just a fool's game. It's nothing more than that. What is going on right now? The problem is not only on the people, but also on those negative entities that they are trying to intervene. They are trying to manipulate and affect those people. They are trying to manipulate their minds, their views, the outcomes, all of that kind of stuff. And let me arrange a microphone. Okay, I think this is a little bit better. And so it's not only about those so-called like elites of the planet, but also about the people that they do not like actually want to change, and they don't want to actually try and do the work. They are losing themselves because, like I said in one of my videos on YouTube some time ago, some years ago, it is very easy to get rehooked in the same pattern. It is very easy to lose yourself in the same pattern, in the same toxic pattern, to actually destroy yourself, And people will destroy themselves not only by their they will destroy themselves by their greed. They will destroy themselves by their illusion of control. They will destroy themselves by being not caring about the world that they are living in, thinking that they are doing a good when actually, sorry, I started talking in Romanian, when they're thinking that they're doing something good, when in fact they're doing something actually that affects in a negative way, because again they are using their control. The planet and the people, they do not need more control, they need more release, and to actually be, for things to actually relax themselves. I never agreed with people like trying to control other people, to tell them be like this, otherwise, like, we were supposed to be free. We are living in such a wonderful time where everything is being developed, technology and all of that kinds of things, and we should be here to help others and to release them, and not to try and control them, or we need to see from others' perspectives as well and create a balance. And so we need people, we need kind, loyal people, and people that are willing to fight for what truly matters, for kindness, for love, for peace, not for more greed, hate, separation, division, and all of those kinds of things. It's not about the person's history or about, I mean, not like that in that way, but like, it's not about some things like that. It's about what that person is actually willing to help others. It's really awful that they are like choosing only themselves through themselves. It's all just a game to play. And about the politics in Romania, they had this game, and they think that they can fool like everyone, and there are little games that people aren't aware of that are happening in the background. I'm not like I even though I voted for someone, which doesn't matter who, I still don't. I'm not into those kinds of politics, and they aren't like really important. But yeah, this is what I wanted to talk about: politics, and about what my husband here is talking in the chat. I wish I could activate that overlay where the comments and all of that will display themselves. Let me see if I have that. How to do that? I don't even know how to do that. I'm such a noob. Oh my god. I'm such a noob. Husband, please help me when you come home. How to put the overlay for the comments to show themselves in the video, in the streaming. I'm such a noob. Oh my god. Yeah, because my husband said here about the inner earth people. I don't actually understand what does he mean by that. What about the inner people when the nuclear war will happen? What about the inner people? Ask Rock. Okay. we will do something like this. When you come home from work, you can ask Rock, and then you will help me, okay? Yeah, so I don't know. It is really paradoxical about the inner earth people. Honestly, I don't know what will happen to them. I don't know. Right now, I'm not focused on that. Ask Grog. Oh my god. Maybe they will save themselves. Who knows? Yeah, let's do some oracle card reading for the collective energy, because this video will stay as well on my YouTube, and I mean this live stream will stay itself as a video on my YouTube channel. And let's do some collective energy reading. Let me pick some oracle cards. It gathers some dust because I have them in this box. I must change the box, so yeah, let's hope this will not be like copyright strike for actually showing the images. Yeah, I'm going to use shamanic healing because I really like this oracle card deck. I'm going to use monology because I really like this as well. I'm going to use the soul's journey because we need to find out more exactly from an emotional point of view what we are going through as a collective energy for this week. So this reading is for this week, including the weekend as well. Okay, let me check. I have something really awesome, something that I really wanted to have for some time, and this year we managed to buy this. The Golden Future Oracle from Diana Cooper. I really love this lady. She's amazing, and you know, everything that she does with all of those, and look at the artwork, is just this is just amazing. Every time that I've been through something and used her oracles, they always been accurate. and they always give me such an inspiring message, full of hope, full of love, and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, so we're going to use that, and let me check. We're going to actually also use angels again from Diana Cooper. Honestly, I have to admit something. On my shame, I must admit something. I am not rich. And of course I'm not rich. On my shame, I must admit something. I am not rich. And I wish I could buy like all the original Oracle decks. And on my shame, I sometimes buy some Oracle cards decks from Chinese online shops, you know, that I'm not going to mention. On my shame. I'm not pro buying useless things that you don't have like anything to do with them, or just to buy them for some kind of pleasure or something like that. I'm not pro that thing. But yeah, I wanted them, so sorry. Yeah. Let's hope I will not get in any problem saying that, or any issue. And let's hope that, yeah, so because there aren't like people commenting or connecting through chat, we can't actually I can't actually give light language codes because there aren't like people. And yeah, so let's use the oracle cards. I'm going to stop the microphone when I'm going to shuffle them because it will be pretty noisy, and then I'm going to talk about what we have. Okay, let me put this right here, and then let's use them. Let's see the collective energy for this week. I'm going to stop the microphone right now to actually shuffle them. I had the microphone on red, sorry. Oh, this is really beautiful, like the cover. A thing that I learned and I really like doing is when shuffling oracle cards, I like to like blow some air into them, to like visualize all the energy that is dissolving, the energy left into the oracle decks. An intuitive message that I'm getting right now is that as a collective, we are on the right track. We are moving towards the 5-dimension timeline. Also, another thing that I learned to do, and something intuitive, is that you need to like do something like this 3 times in the oracle deck, something like to actually activate the energy or something like that. But you can also like put it on the table to actually activate that energy, something like Reiki, and doing Reiki, when you beat the palms, like this, to actually activate the energetical points in your palms. Because I have a really tiny space right here on the desk, I will have to use the space that I have. So, for the Golden Future Oracle by Diana Cooper, we have education, expand your right brain creativity. We have leadership, and decisions, make choices for the highest good of all. And we also have as an outcome card world peace and cooperation, choose harmless and teamwork. So I believe that this is an outcome card because the collective, and in generally speaking, the people from the earth, they are guided right now into actually coming toward a resolution to make peace. But I believe that this peace will not actually last because they want conflict. And I'm not talking like only from this card and from what its message was intended, but I'm trying to like interpret the pictures, the images, sorry, using intuitivity. I will not allow in my I will not allow in my live stream any toxic people. Okay, so like I said, world peace and cooperation, choose harmlessness and teamwork. People, though, are guided to work together. They are guided to make peace. Even so, I believe that they keep choosing conflict because they want it, like they like it, they want that. Like it gives them kind of an adrenaline rush. This is about also heart chakra because it is very closed, their heart chakra. When they're choosing conflict, they are enclosing their heart chakra. They cannot feel love. With the education cards and leadership and decision cards, I feel like again here, like I said earlier, because I was talking about the heart chakra, right now I see it. We have like a heart right here, and on the leadership and decision, like I said, even though they try and come together, they cannot like expand that light inside themselves. There is lots of creativity and lots of creative energy and information and so many ideas. It's like, I don't mean to actually say this, but I feel like I did, because June is the Pride month. Because June is the Pride month, I keep seeing here like rainbow flags, and it's like many hate them for no reason. All they want is just like to be heard, to feel like they are expressing themselves, to like talk and express themselves and show themselves. That's because they've been like so entrapped and so enclosed in their childhood, because there is this pride flag, this like rainbow flag that is around this kid. And like, but it's not only that, it's not just that. It's not just that. Klebsky, if you in more flowy way, I believe that's just paradoxical. Like, you can say like expression and in more flowy way, because expressing yourself is a flowy way. Like, it doesn't make sense to actually say like express yourself but in more flowy way. Expression and creativity is flowy. So even though some people may not agree on exactly on the same page, on the same things, that doesn't mean that they should actually limit their expression, because this is form of rebellion, this is a form of revolution for them. But I'm not only talking about that. It's like people, they must come together and create peace. I believe that in this week that is coming, a solar flare will happen. It's not something that will seem too imminent or seem to like affect the people, but even so, the solar flame will have its own effects, even though like people aren't aware. There will be certain things from this solar flare that is going to actually help and expand. The heart chakra. It's like information that will come through, information that will help humans. And also with this card, with the education card that I was talking about earlier, like I said, it's about expression, but also about the DNA, the DNA that the DNA that the strings of the DNA that they are changing, they are modifying themselves. Even though they are really subtle, they are changing. But I believe that they want to influence that, and they also want to influence. They have all of those kinds of ideas about the planet and how it could not only be revolutionary, but it will also influence in a certain way. Exactly what I was talking about earlier, that they are thinking that they are doing something good, but it might not actually be something good. That just depends on the outcome, and they're playing with something, and they're trying to think about those things, and about portals, like math, calculations, science. That's the word, science. And it is moving so rapidly, and they're trying to find like creativity in this. Okay, let's move to the other oracle cards as well. Very awesome. So very awesome. We got like three important cards: trust, loneliness, and the outcome, patience. With the trust card, I feel like people are being guided to trust themselves, to uh trust that they're exactly like it's written here, that their inner voice will guide them. They are feeling very lonely, but they must trust their journey, that they are connected, because we see here like those people, they are together, all of them. They are together, and it's like they're coming together. And with this card, I feel like people must know that they are never lonely. They are together. And they must trust this journey and have patience, because the outcome, we have this card right here, patience. I accept that everything happens in divine order. What does divine order actually means? Divine order actually means that the energies align themselves with the right momentum for actually major things to happen in that reality or in a person's life. And so, because of that, people need to learn to trust their intuition, that their voice will guide them correctly, that they are not alone in this. And they must have patience that things are moving in the right, not in the right or wrong way, but they are moving in a certain way. And they must accept that everything that happens, just like it says here, they must accept that everything that happens, it's in divine order. It was meant to happen. There are certain major things sometimes that are happening because they were meant to happen, they are meant to happen, they are meant to be. And people must understand that and come in completion with that, understanding that they are not lonely, that everything has a purpose, that everything happens at the right time, that even though they might seem some things being injustice, the balance will always be one way and then the other way. So the balance will go like this and then like this, but it always be like this, the balance. And people must understand that. And that's what we have for the collective energy. I'm going to also use the monology cards really fast because I'm running out of time. um so people are guided to actually believe in the impossible, knowing that prosperity lies ahead, and they are being guided for this time to use this time to actually manifest, because we have right here this card, hold your vision, full moon. And people are being guided to actually manifest in this time and to believe in the impossible. Some things are meant to happen, just like we have in those cards. Patience. I accept that everything happens in the divine order. Everything happens at the right time, at the right moment. It's not about the right or about the wrong, but about certain major events. Wait a second, because this is a wait a second, because this reading is about the collective energy and about the planet. Like I said, we have trust, loneliness, patience, believe in the impossible, prosperity lies ahead, hold your vision, world peace, leadership and decisions. Okay, so I think that this week we might be like for a big surprise. This week we might be in for a big surprise. Something actually awesome might happen this week. People need to believe in the impossible. Something awesome is coming this week for the collective. Um, let's also use the shamanic healing oracle cards. Okay, so this card jumped from nowhere and we have transformation. So like I said, we are in for a week of transformation. We are in for a week of something big, changes. Even though that some things might seem impossible, they might actually happen. Certain dreams, certain things, they might actually happen and transform because we have transformation. So this is the energy for the collective reading. We also have the angels. Let's shuffle this oracle deck. Collective energies. Collective energy this week. Ancient message for the collective energy. The So, for the Angels Oracle cards, we have Archangel Jophiel, which is not only the Archangel of beauty, but also of inner wisdom. And he guides us for wisdom this week, to use our wisdom, to have patience, to believe in the impossible, in transformation, and to use those moments to hold our vision, to manifest, and to actually work and create an environment full of peace, to actually create an environment of cooperation and peace between people. We, the people, must be the ones that we guide others to actually open. Some things they do not happen on themselves, by themselves, and sometimes energies work through people and we must guide them. We must guide the energies, and we must guide that peace to actually come in effect. So, for Archangel Jophiel, with this card we have works on the golden ray, drawing wisdom from source. Ask him to illuminate you and help you to connect with your own deep knowing. He will also help you to learn and absorb information. So, if you are studying or involved in any form of education, divine assistance is available to you now. Call on him for direction and strength. He will help you to remove negativity and become open-minded, clear, and wise. The angels remind you it is time for you to wear the golden cloak of wisdom. So visualize yourself surrounded in gold light and be wise. And this card is very much connected, like I said, with this card. So we have those two right here. I connect with my inner wisdom. I connect with my inner wisdom and education. So I believe that people this week are being guided for this. They are being guided for wisdom. They are being guided to actually open up and work in divine timing, in divine order. Like it says right here. Like it said right here. Where is it? Just a moment. See? Divine order. Like it says right here. So people are being guided, to actually work in divine order. Hello, energy pulsar. First time in chat. Hello, and welcome to my live stream, to my Monday live stream. So like I said, this card, patience, accept that everything happens in divine order. It is very much connected with the message from the Archangel Jophiel. I connect with my inner wisdom. So we are being guided to trust that everything happen in the divine order. We are being guided to stay open-minded and to believe in the impossible, to use our wisdom and be channels and be like to be channels and to be like those people that are using their light for the best, even though if they are working in science, even though they are working in certain fields, people are being guided to be the ones that they're using their gifts for the higher purpose and to create an environment more full of love on this planet in cooperation. Okay, in cooperation. See, we have this card right here, in cooperation and to create world peace. So we must be the one to share the energy. We must be the one to go out there and to talk with people and to put ourselves there to share this energy, to create this environment, not to wait to actually happen, but to make it happen, to believe in the impossible, to help in this transformation, because we have the transformation card. And in the end, to have patience and to accept that everything that happens in divine order. So, Energy Pulsar says, I remember a time where I thought I was the only one who knew of the existence of energy, and over time I've developed my own ways of using it and understanding it, and it was only until recently where I discovered there are others who can do the same thing. I was in the same boat. This is what I was talking about earlier in my live stream, that when when I was doing like remote viewing and light language codes and sorry, just writing, I thought that I was like the only one, that it was something so natural for me to do, and I wasn't aware that there could be others that was doing that, or that they actually had like a name for it, like light language, or I don't know, remote viewing or stuff like that. So, Energy Policy says again, I hear a lot of people want to focus on only the positive and to drive back the negative. Although I disagree with that, as darkness is as much part of us as light is, and if we are to fix the imbalance in the world, we must understand both fully and seek out the source of the darkness causing the imbalance. I don't believe in an imbalance. I believe that uh, everything happens at I don't know, that everything happens at the right time, the way it was somehow mean it, but even so we are the one that drives that thing to happen. So I must agree with you on this thing, on this matter, that yeah, there are sorry, there is lots of toxicity in the spiritual communities. I have a video about that on my YouTube channel, where I'm talking about this. Many people are just choosing to focus on the positive side, and they are not trying to actually understand other things. Because what may seem like negative to us, it might be just a thing that needs understanding, and that must be understand and at a deeper level, and seen at a deeper level. other than just tagged as being dark or positive or just, So yeah, I must agree with you on what you are saying. Indeed, darkness is part of us, just as light is. And we must create, like I said, a balance, not to try like actually, I don't know. Because we have different perspectives and different things, and there isn't something like it exists only that, and that's it. Because many people, they are something like, okay, if you don't, I don't know, if you don't agree with, where did I put that? Oh, it is here. So many people, they are something like, okay, so if you don't agree with me, then you are not true, or you are not true with that information, or stuff like that. But there are many types of information out there, and there are many like truths. Just because something for someone isn't happening the same, that doesn't mean it isn't real or it doesn't exist, because we live like in a multi-dimensional, multi-paradoxical, infinite universe, and so every possibility exists out there. And so I do not agree with those that they are trying to impose on others and say, no, only this, like only this or only that exists, or stuff like that. No, I try and I believe like everyone who's telling me something like, it's just that for me personally, I don't like people. I don't like people that actually try and force others to believe into their views, into their perspectives. Like if you were like all of the people from the earth to believe in the same thing, like there wouldn't be like any evolution anymore, So yeah. So energy person says, yeah, there is far more to energy and spirituality than emotional than or emotional alignment, which is what the positive and negative alignments are in the spiritual world. So there is indeed far more to energy and spirituality. But even so, I believe that the emotions somehow they make part of ourselves. Sorry, my husband came home. So I believe that emotions, even though we are trying to like not avoid them, not actually like avoid the emotions, to try and to trap them in or to enclose them, they exist. The emotions, they exist in us. And even though like how much we'll try like and to repress them, like we can't do that. Hello, I'm from Romania. And where are you from, people? I will try and organize my desk and the oracle cards, because I finished with the reading. And for those that oh my god, look, I am tired of spamming. Ew. Being spammed. Please stop spamming. What are you even talking about? Some people shouldn't be on the internet, I guess. Um oh my god. Uh what does has this to do with what we were talking about earlier? I don't understand. Uh Shubo, you suck. Please go home and take a sleep, a nap. I'm going to block you. Bye. Yeah, I don't know. uh, some people, they are just trolls and they like trolling. So, sometimes we don't have to like accept everything that is being given. We must have boundaries. Yeah. Uh, so about what we were talking about earlier, emotions and all of those kinds of, we're still human, even though we are like light beings, and sometimes we incarnate as starseeds or even other entities, higher entities, like not higher entities, but like other types of, I don't know, entities. Um, we still have emotions, you know. So yeah. Like that thing can be pushed away. Let me see, how do I yeah. Okay. There is still a little bit to adjust with the streaming on Twitch. Still some things that I need to learn how to do. Because I started streaming, I streamed last week as well and today, and so yeah, that could be possible too. So Lampa says, well, just say we incarnate as humans to experience emotions. I believe that in a way that could be possible too, you know, to incarnate just to experience emotions. For a fact, I know that me personally, when I had my hypnotherapy regression session into my other lives and into the in between lives, I know for a fact that I incarnated here just to just to experience the intensity of my emotions, because I'm a very emotional person.